And Aimee, the stage is yours.
All right, guys. I think we're here.
Let's do the recording anyways. And even if it will not go live, we will repeat it. It will be posted, it will be pinned, so everybody will have an access to this. And if there will be questions, everyone is welcome to put your questions in the comments under this video. So Aimee will be able to come over it and answer, and you will be able to communicate with her directly in a Facebook group.
All right, guys. So, everybody, welcome. Thank you guys for being here today. Sorry for all the technical difficulties, but we are here doing this live workshop. We're going to be learning all about finding the right fit with tailored exercises for chronic conditions. And we are going to specifically talk about diabetes in addition to a couple of other chronic conditions, just because so many people do have multiple different comorbidities. So, as we move through everything today, don't be afraid to comment, participate. If you were not able to be here live today and you are watching this on replay, you absolutely can definitely participate as well. Just post in the comments, or you can also send me a message directly in Facebook Messenger. That's fine too. Either way is perfectly fine with me. All right, so let's just make sure everybody here is in the right place for this workshop. You are in the right place if you have a chronic condition like diabetes. That's what this group is all about, right? And you're really wanting to improve your overall health and well-being so that you can live a fuller, more active life. If you're really starting to look for that exercise routine, but maybe you're not really sure exactly where to begin, and you really want to be able to do this in a way that is going to be safe and effective with incorporating exercises that are appropriate for you in your daily life. Also, if you want to learn really how to create that personalized exercise plan that really suits your specific goals and needs, and that way you're able to achieve those desired health outcomes that you're looking to achieve, or maybe you're struggling to stay motivated and consistent with your exercise routine. So, this is going to give you that way to be able to develop some of those strategies and really overcome those challenges and stay on track. So, over the course of the next 45 minutes, I'm going to be talking about the benefits of exercise for people with chronic conditions so that you can improve your overall health and well being. You're going to discover how to really create that personalized exercise plan so that it is going to suit your specific needs. Again, so that we can do that safely and effectively so that you can do better managing your chronic condition. I'm going to show you some strategies for overcoming some challenges so that you are able to stay motivated and committed to that exercise routine. You're going to discover really how to assess your own individual fitness level and your capabilities so that you are capable of setting realistic and achievable exercise goals, because that is going to be one of the most important things to really help make sure that we're staying motivated. Also, I'm going to show you some examples of some exercises that are going to be beneficial for some different chronic conditions so that you can find some activities that are things that you're going to be able to enjoy and improve your health. And also the one thing that you need right now to be able to become more consistent in your routine and really make that lasting impact on your health. So throughout today's presentation, I'm going to be showing you really the exact steps to finding the right fit of exercises for your chronic condition so that you can get fit, make it sustainable, and have that routine that really fits your needs. So here's the deal. You absolutely do not have to go spend hours in the gym exercising or running on a treadmill to see results. Seeing results and a true change in your health really actually starts with a strong vision for what is possible for you, followed by serious action, and then also support of maybe a mentor. And if you don't believe that change is even possible for you, then you're never even going to get started down the right path in the first place. And I am not here to pitch a sale, but I do want you guys to try to pay close attention, take some notes. We're going to be going through a lot here today. So just make sure that you turn off all your other distractions. You can give this 100% of your attention so that you don't miss anything and you really get the most out of it. So tell me if any of these things sound familiar. Maybe you keep telling yourself, oh, well, I'll start exercising tomorrow. Or you feel overwhelmed by the thought of kind of creating a workout routine, don't really know what to do or where to start. Or maybe you're worried about getting hurt, hurting yourself, right? Maybe you kind of lack that motivation or find it very difficult to stay consistent with your routine. Or maybe you're self-conscious about working out in public. A lot of people don't like to go to the gym, right? Or maybe you think that exercise is really just for people who are already fit and they can do it and there's no way I can do that, right? If you can relate to any of those things, I want you to put the word me down in the comments. So do you feel like if you could just stop feeling so tired, run down all the time, everything would be so much better? Or if you could just not spend all of your time going to the doctor's appointments and everything would be so much better? Or if you could just get rid of all of the pain that you're having, everything would be so much better. But you know what? The truth is that your health goals and dreams are absolutely possible if you're coachable and execute what I'm about to teach you, like the benefits of exercise for people with chronic conditions so that you can improve that overall health and well-being. Also, really how to create that personalized exercise plan that suits your specific needs and goals because everybody's different, right? Allows you to be able to safely and effectively manage your condition in the way that is appropriate for you. Also, these strategies we're going to talk about overcoming some of those common challenges faced by people with chronic conditions like diabetes, so that you're able to stay motivated and committed to that routine. How to really figure out where are you starting, what is your individual fitness level, what are you capable of, so that you can set goals that are appropriate for you. Some of these exercises we're going to talk about, really how they benefit different chronic conditions and what types of exercises are appropriate for those. And really the one thing that you need now to be able to be consistent with that routine and make that lasting impact in your health. And in order to get there, you need to know the right path to take, right? And finding the right fit with tailored exercises for your chronic condition, like diabetes, is the way to do exactly that. So let me take just a quick second to officially introduce myself to you guys. My name is Aimee Rossini. I am married with 2 little ones. This is me and my family here in this photo. I've been a physical therapist for 12 years, and I'm also now a certified health coach. And in addition to all of that, I also have completed my certifications as a personal trainer and as a certified nutritionist as well. But you know, things were not always so fabulous, right? A few years ago, I really found myself constantly trapped in a perpetual cycle of exhaustion, constantly running from one thing to the next, and everything. It was just one thing after another between work and family and social activities. And I really had very little time really to consider my own well-being. And I was constantly putting myself on the back burner. You know, my personal needs were always the last on the list and typically never got fulfilled because I was always so busy with so many other things. I got to the end of the day and I still hadn't gotten to myself yet. With that, you know, it basically led to a complete lack of balance, which manifested into issues with my sleep and my energy levels and just really a complete sense of disarray. And really, very simply, I was drained. I was miserable. I was, you know, had stress above my eyeballs, you know, and really until I started to find the right fit for me with particularly tailored exercises that were right for me and my condition. I have Hashimoto's disease. You know, until I got there, things were not going very well. So let's go ahead and jump into the steps required to do this. So step 1 is get clearance. Before you start on any new exercise regimen, it is absolutely crucial to be talking to your physician. So they've got access to your full medical record, your full medical history, and they can help guide you in the manner of safe zones for exercise. They can help give you some parameters such as different range of motion, different, you know, levels of mobility, heart rate levels, you know, things like that, blood sugar ranges that you need to stay within for the safest and most effective routines. And they can also help you identify any underlying health conditions that can affect your ability to exercise safely. So, for example, if you have heart disease as a comorbidity, your healthcare provider might recommend a very specific exercises or very specific precautions to exercise. Okay. And by understanding your limitations, your healthcare provider can help guide you to avoid some of those injuries, some of those complications. Now, with that being said, if you go into your doctor's office and ask them, you know, what exercises should you be doing, they are probably going to send you to a physical therapist or a health coach because exercise specifically is not their specialty, right? And fortunately for you guys, I am both of those things, PT and health coach. So what you really have to do is ask your physician, let them know what you're wanting to do, that you're wanting to start this new exercise routine, and then ask them, are there any restrictions or parameters that you should stay within, that you should be aware of, so that you're able to do those things in a safe manner. They've got to clear you, right? So just like you say, you go to your cardiologist before you go into surgery, they have to clear you, make sure that you're okay, that you're not going to die on the table, right? Same sort of thing. Before you start an exercise routine, you really need to get cleared to be able to do the exercises. Now, as a PT for 12 years, I have worked with people who are bedridden, and I've worked with people who are, higher performing, athlete type of people, right? There are exercises and modifications of exercises for the entire gamut. It does not matter where you're at, who you are, what issues you have. There are always some forms of that movement, that exercise that can be done within your specific limitations. So anything like mobility restrictions, vital sign parameters, whether that's heart rate or blood pressure, blood sugar, all of those different things. Maybe have a maximum heart rate recommendation, all that type of stuff, right? Your physician is going to be the one to give you that kind of thing. From there, either your physician, your physical therapist, or your health coach, any of those things all of those people can help you track your progress, assess your response to exercise, and also make adjustments to your plan as needed. So this ensures that you are, staying on track, making that progress towards your goals, which ends up helping to keep you motivated. If you do experience any discomfort, pain, unusual symptoms, things like that during your exercise, your healthcare provider can give you some guidance, help you to address those concerns, okay? But the right guidance helps you focus on safe and effective activities. Nobody wants to go to the gym and just be, wasting their time with things that are not effective, right? There are definitely some potential risks of exercising without that medical clearance, one of which is just exacerbating existing conditions. So engaging in strenuous activity without proper guidance can potentially worsen symptoms and cause complications. Maybe an increased risk of injury. So people with certain health conditions can be more prone to injuries during exercise. Excuse me. Also, unintended side effects. Some medications, some underlying conditions can interact with your body in a different way with exercise that ends up leading to adverse effects that you did not intend. Now, all chronic conditions, regardless of whether we're talking about diabetes or otherwise, they all have their own limitations, right? So the most common ones that I see, arthritis. So joint inflammation, pain that limits motion, also makes exercise a little bit more difficult. Maybe you have to do certain types of exercise to be able to do better and be able to tolerate that movement because of that pain. Diabetes, why we're here in this group. So high blood sugar levels can lead to fatigue, weakness, increased risk of injury, that type of thing. So being very well aware of that and knowing like where you sit is very important. Also, heart disease. This is going to be one that is a pretty common occurrence with people who have diabetes, as it does make you at a higher risk of developing heart disease. But cardiovascular problems can definitely restrict your physical activity, may also cause you to be requiring some modifications to those exercise routines as well. Asthma is another one. Difficulty breathing obviously makes exercise challenging, right? If you can't breathe, you can't move, right? But especially in certain environments. So let's say wherever you are, maybe you're traveling to someplace different, okay? So maybe it's a lot more humid, or maybe it's a much higher altitude. If you have a lot more humidity, the air seems a lot thicker. It can feel like it's harder to breathe. Higher altitudes, the air is a lot thinner. There's not quite as much oxygen in the air in those areas, and so it feels like it's more difficult to breathe. Also, mental health conditions. So depression, anxiety, other mental health issues can absolutely affect your energy levels and your motivations. And so it makes it that much harder to even get started in the first place. The most common limitations and challenges that I do see with people, regardless of their diagnosis, are going to be pain, joint pain, muscle soreness, discomfort, things like that that can hinder you from wanting to participate or feel like you cannot move as well when you do. Fatigue, low energy levels. It makes it much more difficult to maintain that consistent exercise routine. Who wants to get up and, really early in the morning just to go work out when you're like, I'm already exhausted. Even if just woke up, right? So it makes it a lot more difficult for people to be able to maintain that consistency and be able to stay on that routine. Also, medication side effects. So some of them cause fatigue, dizziness, other side effects that can affect your exercise tolerance. For example, if you have a heart condition and you're on beta blockers, it affects how your heart rate adjusts to doing exercise, right? How your heart rate is going to be impacted by that movement. Also, fear of injury, so concerns that maybe you're going to hurt yourself, cause an exacerbation of your current symptoms, things like that, things that you're wanting to be afraid that you're going to cause an injury. You're going to roll your ankle, you're going to break your leg, you're going to strain a muscle, whatever. Things like that end up preventing people from even engaging in the physical activity in the first place. So when you do get that proper medical clearance, you're going to be able to reduce your risk of injury by actually understanding what are your limitations and identifying what those potential risks are upfront, and knowing that stuff from the get-go helps you be able to do things in a little bit more safe and effective manner. You're also going to gain that peace of mind knowing that the exercise routine that you are doing is safe and appropriate for your particular medical conditions. You'll also have better management of your chronic conditions, overall improved health, as well as an improved quality of life. And knowing that your exercise routine is safe and supported by your medical professionals definitely can boost some of that motivation and commitment as well. On the flip side of that, though, without that proper guidance, you end up engaging in activities that maybe are too strenuous, maybe not really appropriate for that particular health condition, potentially leading to injuries or complications. Certain medications can interact with, more strenuous exercise, leading to some different side effects that maybe you hadn't experienced before, or some adverse reactions that you hadn't been experiencing before. Injuries and complications also can result from improper exercise that lead to higher healthcare costs and potentially impact your overall well-being too. So here are some of the things that we can do to really get moving with the step one of getting clearance. And the first thing you have to do is to decide to start. You've got to make that decision for yourself. Once you've made that decision, make an appointment with your provider, okay? If you need to, gather some of that relevant medical information, particularly if you see multiple different providers. Maybe your general practitioner, your cardiologist, a nephrologist, your endocrinologist, all the ologists, right? So make sure that if all of them are not in the same medical system where they can easily shift between information that one provider has, a test result that one provider has gotten for you versus a different one, if they're not being able to shift between those, get all of that in one place. Print out those test results, maybe previous exercise evaluations if you've had those sorts of things, any kind of cardiology types of tests, things like that. And then be prepared to discuss your exercise goals before you even go to the appointment. So you really need to think about what are your goals for starting this new routine and why are you doing this, so that you have that ability to discuss that a little bit more in depth with your physician. So a couple of places that we might get stuck with this is really overlooking a couple of potential obstacles, maybe some challenges, maybe it leaves you a little bit more unprepared and it keeps you from being able to make some of that progress, especially when faced with extra difficulties that you weren't expecting, right? Maybe attempting to tackle some health goals in isolation without seeking that proper support or accountability from others can sometimes lead to that feeling of loneliness and decreased motivation over time, especially if you're not seeing the results that you were hoping to be able to see. So back in July of 2021, when I was, really at rock bottom, I was drained, I was miserable, and with that path that I was on, like I said earlier, I was with a stress level like above my eyeballs. And so I made the decision at that moment that something has got to give. So for me, I began exploring some alternate avenues to improve my stress and fatigue levels. And so I made an appointment with my physician to discuss some of those changes in my health that I was looking to achieve. With that clear guidance, This provides you with that solid foundation for sustainable progress, really preventing some of those pitfalls of burnout and frustration. Step number 2. So this is where we're going to talk about assessing your fitness level. Understanding your current fitness level is absolutely crucial for setting realistic and achievable goals that are going to be safe and effective for you. So by assessing your baseline fitness, you're able to identify, where are you starting from? It helps you gauge your progress, really set those achievable milestones. So for example, if you're starting from a really very low fitness level, maybe you are not a regular exerciser at this point, set smaller, more manageable goals to avoid feeling overwhelmed, right? So if in the long run, you've got a goal of being able to run a marathon, for example, but you are not a runner today, you are not going to be able to run 26 miles in one time, right? And right off the bat, right? It's going to take some time to achieve that and some training, right? And so setting some achievable goals, maybe you're just starting with walking. Walk for a mile, walk for 2 miles, whatever it is, right? Set small achievable goals that you are able to maintain consistency with over a period of time. And depending on what your final goal is, depends on, how far do you need to really break it down? And then how far are we spreading it out over the course of time too? And then with that, you can then tailor your exercise routine based on your fitness level that allows you to select exercises as well as the intensities that are appropriate for you. So if you're a beginner, maybe you want to start with those low impact or low intensity exercises and then gradually increase that intensity as you go. If you are a more advanced exerciser, you've been doing this for a while, absolutely incorporating more challenging activities for yourself. Keep that challenge going. But here's the thing. If you argue for your limitations, you get to keep them, which means basically that if you focus on all of the things that you can't do, then you're never going to get started in the first place or never be able to get to the point where you're even capable of meeting those goals, right? If you are constantly saying, oh, well, I can't do that because whatever the thing is, right? Can be a lot of negative consequences to not assessing that initial level, right? Before you start a new exercise routine. Maybe you're overstimulating yourself. Maybe you're overestimating where you're at, right? And that can lead to straining muscles or joints, resulting in injury. Also, setting unrealistic goals based on a false assessment of your fitness level, saying, oh, well, that's no problem. I can do that. I just don't, right? But, maybe you set some unrealistic goals and then you're not meeting those goals in the time frame that you thought that you would. And it ends up leading to disappointment and frustration when you don't achieve those things. Also, pushing yourself too hard too soon can end up leading to physical and mental exhaustion and make it a lot more difficult to be consistent with that routine. So if you are seeing progress because you're not seeing progress because maybe you made the activity too challenging, or maybe you're not challenging enough. You end up becoming discouraged, lose that motivation, or maybe you're just simply not giving your body the amount of time that it actually requires to see the results. And you want it like tomorrow, but that's not necessarily feasible, right? Not knowing your starting point makes it that much more difficult to choose the right exercises, the right intensity levels, and that ends up leading to less effective workouts. So that proper assessment can help you identify those areas, improve those targets, set some targeted goals that help to lead to a greater fitness benefits. And if your exercise routine is too difficult or overwhelming, you're also significantly more likely to give up, to quit, right? Overexerting yourself also can produce its own limitations and contribute to health issues if you do have some underlying conditions. So make sure that you're being realistic with yourself when you properly assess your fitness level. There are a lot of benefits, right? Overestimating your fitness level can lead to those injuries and burnout. But by accurately assessing your capabilities, you end up being able to avoid pushing yourself too hard too soon, also allowing your body the time it requires to adapt to new or increased physical activity. And seeing that progress over time leads to that boosted motivation and helps to keep you engaged in that fitness journey. Also, tracking that progress. So being able to track that fitness level, celebrate those achievements helps to keep you motivated as well when you're seeing those positive changes. But you've definitely got to break through some of those barriers. And a lot of those things are going to be mental, right? Pay attention to what your body's response is during and after activity, and make sure that you're listening to your body. If you experience any discomfort, pain, shortness of breath during or after doing some activity, it could be a sign that maybe you're pushing yourself too hard too soon, right? Also, adjust your level of expectation. Don't be so hard on yourself. If you find that, you do a particular exercise or activity and you find it a lot more challenging than what you anticipated, it's definitely a good indication. Maybe you need to start at a slightly lower intensity or maybe modify that exercise to something that's a little bit easier to do. Identify what areas you have for improvement. So really pay very particular close attention to specific areas where you struggled or you felt like you were limited. And this can help you improve in those areas over the course of time and during your actual routines themselves. But also you want to avoid overtraining. So if you're experiencing excessive fatigue, soreness, pain, all of these things can be a sign that you're doing too much, right? Make sure you take a break and listen to your body's signals, because rest sometimes is just as important as the actual activity itself. Now, of course, we still want to be challenged, but your body does require that time period to rest and recover. Okay. So remember that. Can't be exercising, constantly all day, every day, right? Celebrate your achievements. Even if you did not achieve your specific desired results within the exact, focused time frame that you're talking about, celebrate what progress you did make. It's going to help keep that motivation going and allow you to continue to improve. Maybe it just takes a little bit longer than you anticipated, right? But any small achievements are going to be important. And then again, kind of back to step one, make sure that you're talking to the healthcare providers. If you are experiencing any signs of discomfort, concerning symptoms, really talk to them for some further evaluation if you need that. Okay. And by paying that close attention to your body and what its response is during and after doing some of these activities, you can gain some valuable insights into your current fitness level and really make some informed decisions about your exercise routine. So one reality check we have is just really assess your current level. It can be very difficult to accurately assess this level, especially if you have not been active in a while. Without having that proper guidance, you might feel kind of stuck with where to start, because anytime you do something, maybe you're like, oh my God, that was horrible, right? You're just not doing the right things for you. So maybe you need that personalized guidance to be able to get you there. Also, it can really be very confusing to understand the results of any fitness tests and things that you do, or how to relate that to like really what your overall fitness level actually means. And then inevitably, maybe things are too excessively hard. Maybe a lot of that negative self-talk happens and you are comparing what you're doing to what you feel like you're supposed to be doing or what to other people are doing. And it ends up being very difficult, because without that proper guidance, you end up leading to feelings of overwhelm and diminished motivation. So when I started on my own routine, I started with a few things. First was simply walking my neighborhood. And the first time that I did that, I left my driveway and did not leave the sidewalk of my neighborhood until I made it back to my driveway. And that was just shy of 4 miles. Later that day and the next day, I was stiff, I was sore, and my legs were swollen. So did a little self-assessment, decided, maybe that was a little bit too much all at once, especially for my first time doing it. And we made adjustments for the next time, right? I also knew that while I used to absolutely hate every form of exercise that I ever did, I did previously enjoy yoga. So I did start with a basic yoga class when I was doing this. And I cannot tell you how many times I almost fell over trying to do the yoga poses, losing my balance. So I adjusted. I'm like, you know what? Maybe this is not where we need to start. We need to build some strength first. And so then I started into strength training. But knowing where you stand is going to be the first step in reaching your goals. All right, on to step 3. So we're talking about tailoring the actual exercises. So creating a personalized exercise plan is going to be essential for achieving those optimal results and ensuring your safety. And a tailored plan really takes into account your specific needs, your goals, your limitations, and what makes it, effective, what makes it enjoyable, all of those parts. All of those things are important. So when your exercise routine aligns to your interests and your goals, you are more likely to stay motivated and committed. So for example, if you really love dancing, incorporate that into your workouts, especially if you're doing some cardio. There are all kinds of dance cardio types of things to do out there, and it really is a really good workout. And if you're incorporating that into your exercise routine, then it makes things a lot more fun and engaging, and you actually enjoy what you're doing, right? So a tailored plan can help you really achieve those desired outcomes a lot more effectively. And by focusing on exercises that target your specific needs and goals, you end up seeing faster progress and achieving better results in the long run. So when you're doing exercises that you enjoy, you're also more likely to end up sticking to that routine. It makes things a little bit more of a sustainable part of your life. And having that personalized plan can also help you find activities that you look forward to doing and not just completely dread. So, because the best workout is the one that you're actually going to do. Because in the long run, it doesn't matter if you have the best routine in the whole world. If you don't do it, it does you no good, right? So when creating that personalized exercise plan, there are a couple of factors to consider. What chronic conditions do you have? So obviously we're talking about diabetes here, but a lot of people have multiple different comorbidities, right? So blood pressure issues, heart disease, maybe you have autoimmune disorders. I've got Hashimoto's myself. So different chronic conditions definitely have different specific exercise recommendations and limitations. So for example, if you've got arthritis, you might benefit from more like low impact type of exercises. While if you've got the diabetes, monitoring your blood sugar levels a lot more closely during your exercise and kind of planning your carbs and stuff around that exercise are going to be a little bit more important. Also, going back to step number 2, your current fitness level is going to influence the intensity and duration of your workouts. So if you're a beginner, you might need to start a little bit more low intensity stuff, gradually increasing that difficulty over time. Also considering your interests and preferences when choosing those exercises like we talked about. If you enjoy swimming or cycling or dancing, incorporate those things into your plan. And then consider what are your resources. So really assess how much time do you have to dedicate to your exercise each week or each day, and consider, what kind of equipment do you have available to you, or what kind of facilities are around your home that you have access to. Maybe you're a person who's totally good with going to the gym. You've got all of the equipment there you need, but do you have access to going to that facility, right? Do you have barriers to getting a membership to that gym, for example? Maybe you're like me and you have more of that kind of stuff at your own home. So we've got a couple of different things of weight equipment here. We've got a bench, we've got dumbbells, we've got exercise bands, we've got a Swiss ball, we've got yoga blocks, things like that. So all of those different things, maybe you have that stuff and maybe you don't. So you just kind of have to assess what you got available to you. All right, so let's talk about some specific exercise examples for that are going to be beneficial for different chronic conditions. The reason we're all here today, right? So let's talk about arthritis first. So low impact exercises, swimming, cycling, water aerobics. All of these things can help to reduce joint pain and improve mobility while you're getting some of that strength. The stronger your muscles are, the more support your joints have. Okay. For diabetes, some regular exercise that can help to improve blood sugar control and reduce the risk of complications. We're going to be talking about strength training and cardio both. So both of those things are going to be very beneficial for you. And so doing a routine where maybe you do strength on 2 or 3 days and cardio on 2 or 3 days, right? Or maybe you do it kind of 1 week, you do 3 days of one and 2 days of the other. The next week you flip 3 days of the first, 2 of the second, right? Heart disease, some cardiovascular exercises, walking, running, swimming, depending on what other comorbidities you have. Let's say you've got arthritis also, maybe that running and the walking on that hard concrete are not going to be the best, right? So something like swimming is going to be a better choice for you. But all of those different cardio exercises are going to be something that's going to help you improve your heart health and also reduce your risk of heart attack and stroke. For obesity, a combo of that cardio and strength training can definitely help you with that weight loss and also improving your overall health, reducing your risk for all chronic conditions as well. And then mental health conditions. Exercise is a very powerful tool for managing stress, anxiety, and depression. So activities like yoga, tai chi, walking. My husband, for example, has anxiety and he does tons of spin class. Okay. So it's, all of those things are very important, right? Really getting that activity going. But it is important to note that if you are engaging in too much cardio, depending on what your needs are, your body might perceive this as being kind of in a constant state of stress if you're not resting your body enough or doing, kind of easing off that intensity a little bit. So it's a kind of a fine line there. You don't want to push yourself too hard, too much, because it can end up leading to those elevated cortisol levels. Your body thinks you're under constant stress, and that makes that cortisol level go up and stay up. So it is very important to kind of really find that balance between exercise and rest. So, place where you might get stuck. Creating that personalized plan can really seem very complex, and maybe you're unsure where to start. Balancing your exercise with your other commitments can definitely be very tough, especially if you have little ones running around or maybe your grandkids, things like that. Knowing, when are you going to fit all this stuff in is can be really hard, right? And maybe you don't have access to the equipment or the facilities that you need, right? Also, life changes, anything kinds of injuries, illnesses, work commitments, social activities, if your kids are getting into sports now that they're back in school, right? All of these different things can make things much more difficult to stick to and maintain that exercise routine. But a personalized plan is really the key to unlocking that full potential. Making those adjustments, it doesn't necessarily even have to be a one-time a day thing. Maybe you do small bits throughout the day, getting that exercise in. All right, so step number 4, we're going to be talking about defeating some of those challenges here. So people with chronic conditions like diabetes often encounter unique challenges that are when trying to incorporate exercise into their routines. Maybe overcoming those challenges, it helps you build that resilience, right? Meaning that really becoming better equipped to handle all the different setbacks and things like that that you can encounter during life, not just related to your condition, but life is always going to throw a curveball at you, right? It helps you be able to rebound from those difficulties a lot better when you're being able to build the ability to overcome those challenges and build that resilience. Also, successfully overcoming those things can be a significant boost to your motivation. And you think, you know what? I just overcame that. I can do this, right? It shows that you are capable of achieving your goals, even when things get tough. And so overcoming those challenges is very essential for making that progress towards your fitness goals. And every challenge that you overcome brings you that much closer to your desired outcomes. And challenges are designed to make you stronger, not defeat you, unless you let them, right? So overcoming those challenges really builds that mental toughness, that resilience, which ends up helping you be able to tackle other obstacles in your life. Overcoming those challenges can help boost that confidence, your self-esteem, leads to a more positive outlook on life and your abilities. Regular exercise can also help you reduce stress, anxiety, depression, and then also overcoming those challenges provides even a greater sense of accomplishment and satisfaction. But giving up and succumbing to all of those struggles and really struggling to overcome those challenges ends up leading to decreased motivation, a sense of helplessness. And if you're not able to overcome the challenge that you're facing, you're a lot more likely to end up quitting the exercise routine altogether. And every chronic condition, mine included, comes with inevitable challenges, which can definitely significantly impact your quality of life if they're not properly addressed. So let's talk about some strategies to overcome these inevitable challenges. So start small, right? We're going to start with small, achievable goals that are going to be able to be gradually increased with intensity and duration over the course of time. Have a positive mindset. This is absolutely crucial for overcoming those challenges and staying motivated with your fitness journey for sure. When you focus on the positive aspects of your journey and believe in your ability to succeed, it becomes significantly easier to overcome any obstacle that is put in front of you. And that positive mindset can absolutely help you maintain a healthy perspective and avoid getting discouraged with setbacks. So do acknowledge your progress, no matter how small. This can definitely boost that motivation and keep you going. Every challenge is a chance to prove yourself stronger and overcome it, right? And we are at the fifth and final step, which is very near and dear to my heart. And it's the one thing that really pulls all of this together. And it's really getting that personalized guidance. This is going to help you couple that right strategy with the accountability and get you from where you're at to where you want to be. I've talked about it a couple of different times throughout all of the steps and really getting that personalized guidance. And health coaching provides you with the ability to get that support and that guidance that you need to be able to navigate those inevitable obstacles in life. Because expert advice, whether it's from your health coach, physical therapist, your physician, it's going to be your compass to fitness success. You've got to have somebody in your corner, somebody that's going to be your own personal cheerleader and your own guide through this health journey, somebody that's going to be able to help talk you through some fears and some struggles and limiting beliefs and help give you a different perspective to celebrate those wins and victories with. Maybe you don't have a whole lot of support around you. People, even if you have people around you, maybe they don't necessarily believe in you or don't, they're just not your biggest supporter, right? Having somebody to be able to celebrate those wins and victories with is huge. Somebody that's going to be able to keep you accountable to your goals and just remind you of why you're doing this when it does get tough. And, that's, kind of where are you now and where do you want to be? And having the right tools and strategies and insights you need to get there are all part of that. And there are a multitude of different choices out there, and weeding out the good ones can definitely be very difficult if you have never worked with a coach before. A great coach is somebody that, helps you navigate your health path, offering that guidance and that counsel. But they're also going to challenge you to be better and hold you accountable and help you overcome some of those mental barriers. And they also have the ability to bring together a group of more like-minded people who are ready to invest in themselves and be there to actually achieve the goals that they set for themselves. It ends up helping to multiply everybody's efforts and successes, just like the support that you all have here in this group. Helps to amplify that support and those efforts and that success, because there is absolutely strength in numbers. But if you try to go at it alone and kind of do all of this on your own, you end up spending a lot more of that precious time really sitting in waiting rooms, kind of guessing how to incorporate all of these different components into a way to get you some of those results that you're looking for. You potentially lose money in healthcare expenses and random things that you don't really need or that don't really get you those results or that don't actually have the science behind them that they actually work. You end up having a lot more fear and uncertainty and doubt that end up holding you back. And you end up losing the belief that you're able to achieve any of these things in the first place, right? And that reduces your ability to improve your own quality of life, really feel better, and have more enjoyment out of your day. And even thinking that that's even possible for you. And having that strong support network is the foundation to a successful health journey. So today we talked about, the benefits of that exercise for people with chronic conditions so that you could improve your overall health and well-being. We talked about how to create that personalized plan that suits your specific needs and goals so that you can have a more safe and effective workout that's going to help you more better manage your chronic condition. We talked about some strategies for overcoming those common challenges so that you can stay motivated and get your exercise routine in and stay committed to that. We talked about how to really kind of look at what your fitness level looks like, what are your capabilities, and set those realistic, achievable goals for yourself. We talked about some examples of some exercises that are beneficial for different chronic conditions so that you can find activities that you do enjoy, but that are also appropriate for your health and are going to help you improve your own health. And then the one thing that you need now to be able to be consistent and stay with your routine with that lasting impact for your health. So just in review, those 5 things that you need to succeed are to get clearance from your physician, get from your medical providers, assess your current level of your current fitness level, tailor those exercises to your specific needs, especially if you have multiple things going on, really defeat those challenges, overcoming all of those obstacles, and then getting that personalized guidance last but not least. So if you implement all of these different things and really you'll experience an overall improvement in your health and your well-being, live a fuller, more active life, be able to increase your energy levels, reduce fatigue, so that you can feel more energized and productive and really get that motivation going with improved mood, reduced stress, you feel happier, you feel more balanced, all of those things. And also enhancing your quality of life and boosting that confidence so that you can really feel proud of your accomplishments. So now it is up to you to choose the path that is really the best for you. So I am offering everybody that is in this group a free 30-minute health empowerment call with me. And on this call, we do have a conversation really about where are you, what are your goals, where are the breakdowns happening? And if it's right for us to work together, I will invite you to enroll in that Chronic Care Compass program this month if that is something that is important for you. This call is for you if you are really serious and ready and committed to doing the work to start feeling better so that you're ready and willing and able to invest in yourself for those better health and well-being outcomes. If you're looking for a proven system to really get you back to feeling young again and improve your quality of life, and if you're ready to focus on you so that you can live your life with purpose and on your terms. But this is not for you if you're not willing to be committed to a proven system that is going to get you back to feeling better once and for all. If you would like to, make excuses to why you don't have time or you can't, I can't, all those things, those are going to keep you limited, right? If you want to blame other people for the reason why you are stuck where you are, you have to take responsibility for your own self, because at the end of the day, you're the one that has to live in your body, right? And if you're not ready to be challenged, there are also no quick fixes, no fad diets, and no magic pills. So the reason I do all of this is really because I believe that every single person has the ability and deserves to be able to experience a better quality of life without constant nag of medical appointments, without feeling like they can't do anything all the time. And our healthcare system here in the US is really very broken and ruled by insurance companies. And sadly, I've watched this as a PT for the last 12 years, that they will just deny a service at the drop of a hat with no questions asked and really leave you with very little recourse and ability to do anything about it. And so I'm really very passionate about helping people discover their strengths, really overcome those obstacles, and create those sustainable habits that are going to help them last them a lifetime and be able to help them require less medical attention in the course of the long run, hopefully, and be able to better make some daily choices on their own, because 95% of medical decisions are made with absolutely zero medical provider involved, because it is every decision you make every day, right? And if you allow me to, I will walk you through exactly what I've even personally done to create this success myself week by week. It is a 16-week program. And you will experience that massive personal growth, achieve some tangible results, even in just the first few weeks. You'll be able to be held accountable to doing that work to create the results that you want to see, and also receive that full support and feedback so that you're not trying to figure it all out on your own. So this is your invitation to book your call. I will drop a link for this also in the chat below the video as well. So get in there and pick a time that works best for you and your schedule. I am offering a special enrollment rate of 10% off if you do decide to book a call and join my Chronic Care Compass program before the end of September. So that is next Monday. So by the end of next Monday, okay? If you guys do have any questions at all whatsoever, do feel free to drop them in the comments. Feel free to send me them in a direct message. That's totally fine as well. If you have anything, go ahead and drop it down in the comments now. We can talk about those things here. But like I said, if you're watching this on replay after the video, below the comments is totally fine, or you can send it to me in a direct message as well. And Helen Keller said, alone we can do so little, but together we can do so much. And with that, we are all wrapped up, guys. I look forward to speaking with all of you guys soon. You all have a lovely week, and I will see you guys over in the group.